Good morning, Bucknutters. It's Thursday, October 16th, 2014. This is the Bucknuts Morning 5. I am Dan Rubin. It's Thursday. That means Thursdays with Wiltfong. Steve Wiltfong, Director of Recruiting for 24/7 Sports, joins us to talk about quarterbacks, Michigan, and everything else interesting on the recruiting front.
It is Thursday. That means Thursdays with Wiltfong, as promised. We are joined by Steve Wiltfong, Director of Recruiting for 24/7 Sports. Steve, how are you on this dreary Midwest Thursday?
Doing well. Good morning, Daniel.
Steve will be heading out for a debaucherous wedding weekend, so we're going to, not his, mind you, so we're going to check in with him here on recruiting before we go any further. Steve, you know how I am obsessed with quarterbacks. Very interested to hear some talk recently of Dwayne Haskins and Jarrett Guarantano out of New Jersey. Both are crystal balled, ironically, to Ohio State. While I think we'd all agree it's pretty certain that both won't end up there. I've always thought Dwayne Haskins was going to be an Ohio State guy and Guarantano would find somewhere else to go. Has anything changed recently, in your opinion, to alter that? For what it's worth, so the people know, Steve put in a crystal ball choice for Dwayne Haskins to Ohio State about 6 months ago and hasn't changed, and he does not have a prediction in there for Guarantano. So, Steve, bring us up to speed here.
Yeah, well, I've always thought that Dwayne Haskins would be Ohio State's quarterback in the class of 2016, but I say that knowing that Dwayne Haskins has taken a lot of visits and racked up offers, and he communicates regularly with other programs, but he does that with Ohio State and was back in Columbus earlier this season. So that's the guy I still have pegged for the Ohio State recruiting class, but still very early in the process for Dwayne. The reason why Ohio State is the crystal ball leader for both is twofold. First of all, I think there's a bunch of Ohio State crystal ball pickers on the crystal ball, so that's one element. But the second and more important element is that Dwayne and Jarrett have both named Ohio State their leader at different points of the process. So both are taking their time and going through the process and looking at schools, and both are guys that when I last checked with sources, Ohio State felt good about, and but they're aware that neither of them have jumped in the boat, and they continue to evaluate quarterbacks in 2016, just like those two continue to evaluate other programs.
These are two guys you've seen extensively in your travels around the country and camp visits and such. Just you personally, on the field, who do you think is a better prospect?
Well, Haskins is my guy. I've said that on the Bucknuts Morning 5 several times. That's my favorite 2016 that I've seen in person in a camp setting. I thought he was fantastic when I got a chance to watch him throw it, and that's no disrespect to Jarrett or any of the other guys. Malik Henry was pretty darn good when I saw him this summer too. But I just really like Dwayne Haskins, and I think he's going to be a fantastic player on the college level.
As a D.C. native, I got a chance to spend some time this summer at Bullis for some other reasons, and you want to talk about people that speak highly of somebody. He's a local legend around there. Okay, this weekend, the new pipeline for Ohio State, and I say that with air quotes pumped, Cass Tech out of Detroit, the former school up north pipeline, has been rehooked to a more southern destination in Ohio State. And there could be a Cass Tech invasion this weekend with guys like Michael Onwenu, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Lavert Hill, and Mike Weber, all possibly visiting. Of that group, you know a lot about Cass Tech. Who stands out to you as a prospect?
Well, first and foremost, the name that stands out right away when you start reeling off that group is Michael Weber, the Michigan running back commit, top 247 recruit, U.S. Army All-American, has a great combination of that size, power, and speed, a guy that can catch the football. Just a good all-around player, and a guy that Ohio State targeted early, and a guy that has been at the top of the board with some other big-time names for the Buckeyes at the running back position. So with what's going on in Ann Arbor, getting Weber on campus. But I do believe that, and this is the case with every major university when you have a coaching change, if they have a coaching change, and I think that we all believe it's probably headed that way. I know Ohio State fans are probably rolling their eyes and laughing because they think is 100% heading that way, and I just don't like to speak in literals until it's a done deal. But I think we all feel it's heading that direction. But if not, if Brady Hoke stays, I think most of the class stays together, and Weber stays and signs. And if Michigan goes in a different direction, you get that jolt of recruiting momentum on the trail with kids buying into the new program moving forward and the excitement around the program. And Weber could easily do that as well with whoever the new regime is. But Ohio State was at times his leader before he committed. No question, he absolutely likes Ohio State. Coach Kerry Combs has done a fantastic job recruiting that school, made it his mission to land Damon Webb last year, and we all know he signed with the Buckeyes. They got Josh Alibi committed to them in this class after he came to Friday Night Lights and earned his offer on the field. And those young guys, they're excited about Ohio State as well. When you talk about Michael Onwenu, Ohio State was his first offer. Donovan Peoples-Jones, the top 20, the number 2 receiver in the country, top 20 player overall in the 2017 class. Ohio State was his first offer. He started to blow up. So those are 2 guys that the Buckeyes are in great early shape with. And then Lavert Hill, his older brother, plays at Michigan, and I do think that Lavert really likes Ohio State. Tore up the Friday Night Lights camp, thought he was fantastic there. He left with an offer. But with his older brother being at Michigan, and if they have that coaching change that we just talked about, I think there's going to be a lot of excitement around that Wolverines program again. But a lot of it will depend on how his older brother gets treated in Ann Arbor. And if it's not a great experience, that certainly opens the door for other programs, and Ohio State's certainly right there.
You've heard of Tuesdays with Maury. I think it's pretty clear that it can't hold a candle to Thursdays with Wiltfong. Steve, have an enjoyable weekend. And remember, if there's 10 guys in the room, don't be drunker than the 4th guy.
All right, fellas. Take care.